Okay, we are live. Okay, we are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So, welcome. We are not on TikTok this evening, but we are on our other platforms. And I am hoping that my internet maintains for the night. If it does not, my co-host, my leadership will take over and continue the presentation if I fall off. So before we do anything, I know you can hear my beautiful cultural music playing in the background, and I just want us to take a few moments together before we start to talk, before we start to kick this off, and invite you into your own body with us. Wherever you are right now, whether you're watching us live or you'll watch the replay, I want you to say that whatever you carried into this hour from work or from wherever you've been, to just set it down for just a moment and take one deep breath with me as we listen to the sound of the drum. You ready, team? Let's go to breathing for 1 minute. Let's begin now. Center yourself in the beat of the drum. Let it call to your DNA. Breathe in our strength. We hold our peace. And we exhale all things that no longer serve us. Inhale your peace. Hold it. Release what doesn't serve you. We create this sacred space, this container of love for self, for sisterhood, for community. Ashe. Thank you, thank you. Hope that you have felt that and that you are now prepared to take this journey with us tonight. And so, for those that do not know, I am Arike. I am the founder of PI, which stands for Purifications International Enterprise. And here at PI, our name really does tell you exactly who we are and what we're about. We believe that every woman has the ability, the power, she already carries it deep within. Seeds of restoration. And our work is simply to build that container where those seeds can root themselves so that they can grow and that they can spread. For over 36 years, I've walked alongside women, Black women, Indigenous women, women whose stories society tried to bury, not to fix them, but to remind them of what they already know deep down. It's just got buried. To remind them that what is inside of them is so powerful and so magnificent that it comes from deep down within inside of them. Tonight's episode is called Breaking the Silence, Building the Power, and Creating Safe Space to Name Harm. We're going to talk about centering consent and reclaiming our bodies, or what I call our temples. We are airing this during Sexual Assault Awareness Month. That is what April is. And we are not here to dwell in pain, but we are here to move through it. To not just move through it, to move sisters beyond it, and doing that together in a way that we all can heal. So now let me bring my beautiful butterfly team in. First, I want to introduce you, Ashley.
Hi, I'm Ashley, and I am so grateful to be in this space tonight. What I love about Pi is that come is we come to this work not from a place of brokenness, but from a place of knowing that women are resilient, knowing that healing is in our lineage, and I'm honored to be here with each of you.
Thank you. And now Rajani.
Hello, everybody. I'm Rashini. And to every woman that's tuning in, I want you to know that you belong here, not because of what happened to you, but simply because of who you are. And we do this work in reverence to the women that came before us and in devotion to the women that are coming behind us. So let's go.
That's right. Let's go. Let's build something tonight. So, what does it mean? We're going to jump right into it. What does it mean to name harm? So, I'm going to open up the conversation about name and harm because tonight's topic asks us to create safe space for that. And I want us to be really honest about what that means. So, Ashley, go ahead and let's start here.
Yes. Okay. The first thing I want to say is we are not here to tell you how this is supposed to feel. For some women, speaking their truth comes like a river. For others, it takes time. And both are right. Both are natural. There's no single story about what naming harm looks like. We are not the authority on your experience. What we do know is every woman has within her the capacity to witness her own life with clarity. That capacity is not something we give her. It is something she was born with. Our work at Pi is about restoring access to that inner knowing, building a container that is safe enough for her own truth to surface in her own time and in her own way.
Yes, because our ancestors didn't need clinical work to know when something violated them. They had ceremony, they had community, they had elders who held the circle, and they had ways of moving harm through the body and out, not by rehearsing it endlessly, but by returning to wholeness. And that is a tradition that we're pulling from. That's the well that we drink from at Pi. When we create space for women to name what happened in their life, we're not asking her to re-perform or to perform her pain or to rehearse it. We're asking her to witness herself. There is a difference. Witnessing is an act of power, and it says that I was here, this happened, and now I'm here.
And sometimes naming comes quietly. It comes in the middle of breath work. It comes when a woman is moving her body in circles and releasing with her sisters. It comes when she's writing her first book, right? Which, by the way, is exactly where we start in Pi in our pathway. Because your story is not a wound. Your story is a resource. It's an asset and it belongs to you. We also have to acknowledge that some women in our community have been taught that their naming will not be believed, that speaking will cost them more than silence, and that history is real, especially for Black women and Indigenous women whose bodies and voices have been historically unprotected by the very systems that claim to serve them.
And that is exactly why we don't bring women into an institution to be processed. We build community, we build sisterhood, we build a circle where a woman is seen by other women who look like her, who come from where she comes from, and who are not going to flinch at her truth or redirect her into someone else's framework for what healing is supposed to look like.
Mhm.
Exactly. Because the earth didn't ask, because the earth doesn't ask a seed to explain itself when it provides nourishment, right? It simply creates the right conditions, the warmth, the water, the soil, and then the seed does what it was always meant to do. And this is what we called, and this, excuse me, this is what we are called to do for women, to create the condition and to trust what rises. Because we believe that you're not here to be fixed, you're here to be remembered by yourself, by your sisters, and by the wisdom that's already living in your body.
Beautiful. Let's take a moment and just breathe again as we get ready to move into consent. So, we always want to make sure that you're safe. Even though we come on and we come on speaking out of a script, it is so that we can keep ourselves safe. Because when we are together off camera and we're talking about these subjects, we often put our own life in. So when you're looking this, this is the organic side of this side, trying to explain, right? So we flow a lot differently when we're not on camera, because we can now speak to our own personal things. And so, but as the ladies move through and we move through tonight, I just wanted to remind us that it is still a touchy subject. It is not an easy subject to talk about. And so, if at any time you're feeling uncomfortable, if any time you're feeling like you need to get up or take a walk or, just take care of you, please. And so, before we go on to consent, let's just take another breath. It is so important that as we present, that we ourselves maintain our container, because they are heavy topics. And so now we're going to go ahead and pass it back on to Ashley as we talk about consent of a way of being. Ashley?
So, consent, that's a word that gets used a lot. And I think when we center it around restoration work, we're talking about something much older and deeper than policy or legal framework. At its root, consent is about sovereignty. It's the recognition of a woman's body, her voice, her choices, and her story, and they all belong to her. That has always been true. The work is returning women to knowing when it has been disrupted, questioned, taken, or never fully taught.
Mhm.
Yes. And in many of our ancestral traditions, this was not just a concept that we had to argue over. It was embodied in how community functioned. Children were taught that their bodies were sacred. Elders modeled what that looked like, and what it looked like to ask, to listen, and to honor. It was relational. It was lived. And at Pi, we are returning to that, not inventing something new, but remembering something ancient.
Yes. And we build that into everything we do here at Pi. From the very first session, women are given choices and they lead. We follow their pace. Our 5 S's in the C, that's me, Women's Development and Training Program, was born in 2011 and then piloted in my first transitional home, which I call Healing Homes, in 2012. And it's structured around a woman's own development, her own language, her own culture. We don't hand her a script for her healing. We hand them scripts for our shows, but not for their healing. We walk alongside of them while she writes her own story. And so, talking about that, we'll talk about consent, culture, and community with Ashley.
Centering consent also means we look at the soil around women, the cultures, the households, the organizations, the systems that either protect her sovereignty or erode it. A woman cannot fully inhabit her own consent if every environment she moves through teach her body as negotiable. That's why we go into organizations. That's why Pi works at the community level, because individuals' healing is powerful and it is also not enough on its own. The container has to change as well.
Mhm.
Yes. Oops, I'm sorry. And think about it like a river, right? Clean water doesn't stay clean if the banks are contaminated. We have to tend to the whole ecosystem, the woman, her relationships, her community, the institutions that she moves through. And that is the restoration work. That is what Pi means when we say that we are building a restoration ecosystem.
Yes. And within our programs, consent is a living practice. In our breath work, in our movement, in our sound healing, women are always in the lead. And we ask, we offer, we honor, where we create a circle where women can practice being sovereign, because many of us have never had space where we could truly be safe. Now, when we're in corporate America, when we're in the schools, it doesn't matter. No, most of the time we're outnumbered, and then they give us these come to these healing retreats, come to this healing wellness at work. And then you get there and it's really just you or maybe one other person. And very rarely are you paired to the other person of color. Whatever reason, they're on over there on their side with their group, and you're over here on your side with your group of friends that are non-melanated. And I ask all the time, is that really the healing that we need? And so I'm sorry, I'm going in and out and I can see it.
We can hear you
But
clearly.
we create that. Okay, we create that space to be truly safe. And when you practice sovereignty in a sister circle, and when you really practice it, it begins to live with inside of you, with inside your temple, and that follows you. So sovereignty is not given, it is remembered. And we build the circle where that remembering can happen. So let's talk about coming home to the body.
Thank you, Miss Enrique. This is where we get to talk about the beauty of what's possible, right? Reclaiming your body is not a clinical process, it's a homecoming. It is a return of something you never actually lost, even when it felt that way. The body knows how to heal, and we see this in nature everywhere. The earth reproduces after fire, the way the bones knit themselves back together again, the river that finds its path around every obstacle. That same intelligence lives in every woman. And our work is to stop interrupting that and to start supporting it.
This is why Pi's approach is holistic and rooted. We integrate sound healing, movement, breath work, eating to live, and cultural awareness. Because healing is not one dimensional. A woman's body is not one dimensional. She is whole, living, breathing. She is a whole, living, breathing system connected to her ancestors, her community, her land, and her purpose. And we honor all of that.
Yes, and I want to say this clearly. We are not here to dig up the past and keep turning it over and having you talk about what happened to you and what happened to you and why that happened to you. That is not our way. Our way is to acknowledge what happened, draw from that strength, that resilience that had us to survive it, and move forward. We're not defined by what we used to be. We're not defined by what we endured. We are revealed by how we rise. So we focus on that. Listen, our elders knew this. You didn't sit in a circle and relive the same stories for years. You came into the circle, you were witnessed, you were cleansed, you were fed, you were reminded of who you were in the stock that you come from. And then you were sent back out into the world to live. That's the energy that we carry. I remember those conversations when I was a young woman, telling my father, I can't do it no more. And my father sat me down and said, you know the stock of women that you come from? Let me explain to you who your grandmother was. She couldn't read, she couldn't write, she was a housemaid, but yet she found that way, abandoned with 8 kids by my no good daddy, to buy a triplex. Do you know the strength of the women that you come from? Your mother was homeless when I first met her. And all that she went through college to become a nurse. Do you know the strength of the women that you've come from? When we sit and listen with our elders, we get back to that part of us and our strength. So let's talk about our strength, our resilience, and our restoration. Go ahead, Ashley.
Black women and Indigenous women are not broken. We have never been broken. We have been bent by systems that were designed to break us, and we're still here. That resilience is not just a personality trait. It's ancestral. It's encoded. It is the inheritance of every woman who walked before us and refused to disappear. Pi starts from that truth. We are not rescuing women. We are restoring them to their own knowing. We are cleaning away what was put out on them that was never their story to carry. And we are helping them build because as a restored woman builds. She leads, she opens doors for other women. And she becomes the elder that the next generation needs.
Yes. And the butterfly activation we talk about in our alumni work, that is this. It is the woman who has come through the process and now carries the light for someone else. Not because she has it all figured out, but because she knows the path. She has walked it and she knows she was not alone on it. And so the woman behind her will not be alone either.
Absolutely.
Reclaiming your temple means reclaiming your story, your voice, your finances, our sisterhood, and our real culture. That's why every S in the C flagship program exists. It's sticking out to be set apart. It's rethinking how to be single and sophisticated when it comes to language and communication. It's about sisterhood. It's about being satisfied with your finances. It's about being culturally aware, to learn things that we had never learned about ourselves, in a school book. Our cultural awareness takes our sisters back to the essence and the strength of who we are as women of color. Because here's one thing that I do know: we can't come fully home to ourselves if our temple's always in crisis because we don't have finances. We can't fully come home to ourselves if we're isolated from a positive sisterhood circle. We cannot fully come home if we've been cut off from our culture. And this is where other places are missing it, trying to heal us with somebody else's medicine. But we're here to restore the whole living system. That's what Pi is. Because you're not broken. You were burdened with what you were burdened with what was never yours to carry. And now we're here to help you set all of that down so that you too can rise like the beautiful butterfly that you are. And so now let's talk about some other things that we do, which is spotlighting the work of what Pi has built. So Ashley, can you get us started on this segment, please?
Absolutely. So we use this part of the show to spotlight others doing the work. But tonight, our spotlight is going to be on the Pi community itself, because we want every woman listening to know what has been built for her. This is your invitation.
Yes, Pi's full pathway is a 20-week journey. It starts with phase 1, which is 8 weeks, where a woman writes and publishes her first book and earns her first income from that work. Right from the beginning, we are saying to her, your story has value. Your voice is an asset, and you can build something real from what you have lived.
Phase 2 is 12 weeks as a community restoration specialist. The first 6 weeks move through our signature 5 S's and a C, that's me program, culture awareness, sound healing, movement, and daily finance. The second 6 weeks go deeper into self-regulation, breath work, de-escalation, building a safe container, and eating to live. At graduation, you are a certified community restoration specialist. You leave not just healed, you leave equipped.
Yes, and our alumni tracks carry women all the way into facilitating their own programs. So opening their own chapters, becoming nonprofit founders, prospecting funders and sponsors, and collaborating at a systems level. We have women in this ecosystem who started their first cohort with nothing but courage, but are now running organizations on their own. Thinking of Zane, who has Love Me. That is what restoration produces, not just healing, but leadership and legacy. This work has been growing for over 36 years. It was born in my own healing home. It has been refined so many times in real circles. Even right now, it has just been refined again in real community. But here's the one thing that we know: it works. Not because of what we do to women, but because when they are finally given the right conditions to become fully themselves. So Pi's program at a glance, we have 5 S's and C, that's me, that's normally ages 18 through 24. Our tuition is only $175. Then you go with the community leadership and chapter development, ages 25 through 30 for $250. And then we have the community restoration and effective collaboration cohort for those that are 30 and over. That is $900 to come in. And then it is $25. And then we also have where we do curriculum licensing. So, And then we have scholarships that as well. Rashani, why don't you talk about that?
Yes, ma'am. So we do, as Ms. Rika mentioned, we do have scholarships available because the woman who needs this most will not be turned away because of money, and that is a promise. So reach out to us, and we will find a way for you to join us. And if you are an organization ready to do better for your community, we want to speak directly to you. So schools, workplaces, faith communities, nonprofits, healthcare systems, social service agencies, we want to you as well, because if you serve women and you want your organization to be a place where those women are truly safe, truly supported, and truly restored, we want to come to you.
PI offers culturally grounding training, workshops, and organizational consultation. We can bring our curriculum and our framework into your setting. We can equip your staff and your community with restoration practices that are rooted in culture, not borrowed from a Western clinical model. And those are our curriculum, and through our curriculum licensing, your organization carries PI's framework forward with full support, access to our material, and ongoing connection to the PI network.
And we don't come in with a one-size-fits-all program. We come in, we listen, we learn about your community, and we build something together that actually fits. Because restoration that is imposed from the outside does not last. It has to grow from the inside out. That is the only kind we know how to do. So to reach out to us, you can reach out to iamariquemichelle@gmail.com. You can go to our webpage, PIPurifications.com. From you. Whether you're a woman who found something tonight, whether you're an ally ready to move differently, or an organization that's in community and knows that the young girls of color in your community deserve more, come find us. Our circle is open. This room is open. And before we leave, let's close our eyes and let's close the way that we started. In our temple, in our breath. So let's take one more deep breath with me. We're going to play the drums back on. We are well. We are healed. Whole. You are radiant. You are beautiful. You are more powerful than you know. Breathe, beloved. Breathe. The essence of the drum. You are here, you are whole, and you're not leaving the same way that you came. Because something was spoken tonight that was meant for you. And even if you don't know yet what part, to Ashley and Rashani, myself, you two are the kind of woman that makes this work. Thank you to Ashley and Raj for bringing yourselves in tonight and sharing yourselves. To every woman listening, You don't have to earn your healing. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to hurt. You don't have to carry your pain by yourself. We are here. But know that your restoration comes from within. And your story absolutely needs to be told. Again, your restoration belongs to you. And remember, you are not a burden. You are the life of survival. And that life is your life. And it's the most powerful thing that we have, and that we have ownership, is our temple. So tonight, again, this has been Breaking the Silence, Building Our Power, brought to you by Purifications International Enterprise. I am Marie Kay. That is Rashani and Ashley. And we will be back next week. And until then, remember to remind yourself that you are loved. Take time to go out into the earth. Breathe outside. Take your shoes off. Walk through some grass. Pay attention to the birds. Hug a tree. It's real. In knowing that vibration and how we vibrate and how to keep your vibration high regardless of what's happening. You were meant to be purified. You were meant to be healed. You were meant to be successful. We love you. We're waiting for you. We can't wait to meet you. Again, visit us at piepurifications.com. Ashley, any last words you would like to say?
Just thanks to everybody for joining us. I look forward to hearing from you all.
Yes. Rashani?
Can't wait to meet you.
Yeah. So we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of things happening. We have some wonderful, wonderful things happening. And so once those are solidified, we will come and we will share them with you. But for now, we are going to get off. We're not going to do a whole hour. I think we're going to start cutting the show down to about 30 minutes. And so, yeah, thanks for watching. From my heart to yours, we will see you next Monday. Good night.
Bye.